from the WWE. Yes.
So if you're not sure about it, there's some great raffle prizes. I'm not sure if they're going to do that every time. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That was the first one, so not sure. But
fun night.
Yeah.
Ricky Steamboat next month. There's no reason to not come out.
Right.
And when you said probably one of the greatest wrestling matches of all time, especially one of the greatest WrestleMania matches he was involved in, WrestleMania 3 with the Macho Man. I think that was. I have to go back and listen, but I think that was my number one pick.
Okay.
When we ran down our top 10 or our top 5 WrestleMania matches. I think that was
the face. I think we just posted those on Facebook.
Oh, maybe it was. Maybe we'll go back
around WrestleMania times. We'll have to revisit because I had to have had it in my
top 5 probably at least.
Yeah. I actually went back and watched it yesterday afternoon before we left to head down to the.
Have you ever seen the WWE put out the little documentary about him?
I haven't. Matt, have you seen that?
I think it's on the network. I have the DVD. Check it out. It's a really good.
I watched most of those Beyond the Ring. Yeah. I kind of worked from the newest on back, so
it's an older one. That's
okay. Maybe I'll have to go back.
Around the time they put out the Pick Your Poison from Jake the Snake. So right around.
Okay,
that time,
I'll have to go back and see if that one, one's on the network or not, and see if I'll catch up on that. Before the Dragon Steamboat comes to LCW. And yeah, Ryan, thank you for pointing out the great Rowdy Piper tribute that they did before the show. A great story from the chairman of the championship committee at LCW, Chance Tucker, who spent most of that week as the LCW liaison with Rowdy Piper. And then had great stories and even elaborated more with us after the show. Just a spectacular tribute. I know, it's been a couple weeks now, and I still
doesn't feel real.
It still doesn't feel real. I got choked up, at the start of the show when they had the tribute to him, and so it's hard to believe that we saw one of his last appearances at a professional wrestling event. It still doesn't seem real.
It's surreal, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm with you guys. My top match from the night last night was the Sudden Impact versus Strickland and Gresham. All the matches. And I want to run down some of the names of the teams. We saw, like you said, the Sons of Samoa, QT Marshall and the Punisher. House of Truth, who actually won the tournament. We don't want to miss that. The House of Truth from Ring of Honor, Jay Diesel and
Donovan
Dijak won the tournament. They're your 2015 LCW Keystone Cup winners. They went through the Bloodbound Warriors. They went through QT Marshall and the Punisher, and they went through Sudden Impact. They kind of got the advantage on Sudden Impact because Sudden Impact finished their match versus Gresham and Strickland, and Jay Diesel and Donovan Dijak just rushed the ring and jumped them as they were celebrating. So maybe a little bit of an unfair start, catching the guys when they're tired and unsuspected, but that was a solid match as well, But like I said, the House of Truth from Ring of Honor are the LCW Keystone Cup champions. So. Also there was like we said, the Bloodbound Warriors, the Party Animals, and Pretty in Pink. So some definite strong local talent in that tournament as well. Overall, just an awesome night. The women's tag team match that we saw, we had seen all 3 out of the 4 women work before. They were spectacular, and like I said, for me especially. The first WrestleMania that I ever watched, the opening match was the Rockers versus the Barbarian and Haku, and then the British Bulldog wrestled the Warlord. So to be able to see 2 guys that were one of my earlier wrestling memories that I ever had, to see them live at when I'm 30 was pretty cool. Just an awesome night. I can't and to be a part I've posted about it on Twitter and my Facebook that to be a part of LCW in the manner that we are and in the growing manner that we are, been spectacular. I don't think I can really put it into words exactly how much fun I've had in the last couple months. And I think even after the first one, Ryan, on the podcast, and Matt, we've all said that if it ended with the first one, just to be able to say that we, worked in professional wrestling in that manner would be awesome. But to see where we've come, 6 months ago, we weren't doing any of this. We were just podcasting. We hadn't had a guest. We hadn't been going to these indie shows. We weren't working for a company, and we've already grown so much over the last couple of months. And again, thank you to everyone at LCW who has welcomed us with open arms.
Yeah, we can't thank them enough. So to the bottom of our hearts, thank you. And, we hope to keep working in the future.
Any more thoughts on the LCW Keystone Cup weekend?
I don't. The only thing that I can add to them is you can check out Lancaster Championship Wrestling. It's www.lcw-pro.com, www.lcw-pro.com, facebook.com/Lancaster Championship Wrestling.
Yeah,
Matt?
Nothing else from me. I think we did a fine job recapping everything. We can't say enough. Just you got to come out and see these shows.
Yeah, you absolutely do. Again, one more time, the next LCW show, Friday, September 11th, Friday Night Fights, featuring Micro Championship Wrestling are the guests, and then Saturday the 12th with special guest Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. So visit lcw-pro.com for all the ticket information. Tickets either are on sale now or will be on sale on tomorrow morning. So make sure you visit the website lcw-pro.com. Just a couple news and notes, guys, from the WWE world before we wrap this one up. It is being reported that WWE Hall of Famer being brought to Steve Austin being brought to New York City for SummerSlam weekend. He is not currently scheduled for the actual SummerSlam pay-per-view, but will likely be doing promotion, of course, for the WWE 2K16 video game. Could be making some other appearances. On a related note, there is also some speculation about The Rock appearing at SummerSlam. And after Roman Reigns was asked by Fox Sports if the Great One will be there, he replied, "I want to tell you, but I don't want to give anything away." After the...
Why don't he just say yes?
Yeah, exactly.
It's New York. So
it's New York.
Be surprised?
Brooklyn, the Barclays Center where SummerSlam is at, is where The Rock made the surprise appearance when he punked out Rusev. Was that 4 months ago or something like that?
Sure, I forgot about that.
On Raw. So, The Rock's schedule is nuts, but after the appearance at WrestleMania with Ronda Rousey and Triple H and Stephanie, there's been a lot of speculation that you may see The Rock versus Triple H at WrestleMania. I would not be surprised in any way if this would be the kickoff to that build.
I could see it. Makes sense.
Because, we've talked about WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, trying to hit the 100,000 fan mark, break that attendance record. You're going to have to spend some time and money to promote and build some big things. And I think that they're going to have to bring some of these older, bigger names in to bolster that card, to get, and not for people like us. Obviously, we're going to be watching regardless, but I think people...
Yeah, but we'll bitch a little bit less.
Sure, but I think to get some of the people that haven't watched, in a couple of years to get back and hopefully reinvigorate them, especially now with the WWE Network.
We're looking at a 4-hour pay-per-view instead of a 3-hour show as well. So there's an extra hour that the WWE is going to have to, kill. So having a segment with The Rock and the fan interaction with The Rock, just his entrance alone and before the crowd dies down, you've killed 15 minutes. Much like WrestleMania 31 when The Rock came out. It was, incredibly noisy. So I wouldn't be surprised by it. I wouldn't be upset if he doesn't show up either. I mean, not that he needs to show up to make the SummerSlam, worthwhile. And who was the other one we were talking about? But Austin.
Austin will be doing some promo stuff. So
nothing bad with that.
I don't expect. I would, and again, not throwing out any numbers here, but I don't expect to see Austin. I would. I'm not saying that I expect to see The Rock. I would not be surprised to see The Rock 1 week from tonight at SummerSlam. Matt, your thoughts on either The Rock or Austin?
I'm hoping that if it's The Rock, it's not kind of like why he was at Rumble to, kind of try to get the fans behind Reigns, because clearly that didn't work that night, and Brooklyn's not going to be any easier on that situation. But if he's just there to plug, same with Austin, if he's there for like the video game, I have no problems with that. It's kind of expected at the bigger shows like that. I'm just curious as to what percentage, James, do you have as The Rock appearing on that show, or Steve Austin?
316.
I'm going to err on the side of my better judgment for once and not actually put a percentage number, because I think if we go back to the pre-Battleground podcast, that I'm not very good when I throw out percentage numbers, so I'm suspending myself from putting any actual percentage numbers on predictions, at least for a little while.
That's fair.
Maybe until like Royal Rumble. I think I'll suspend myself for the remainder of the 2015 year.
All right, that works. The Rumble, you have a 1 in 30 chance of getting it right when you're going to give us
certainly, yeah.
What's the worst odds for you?
Sure, but
let's do that then.
We'll do that. The post SummerSlam WWE Raw from Brooklyn at the Barclays Center 3. I almost feel bad for like the people that work at the arena. You got a sold out NXT show on Saturday, sold out SummerSlam on Sunday, and now sold out Raw on Monday. It is sold out. Another set of tickets were released, but are now gone. So, and that's a huge weekend. I mean, obviously the people that had bought their tickets for SummerSlam when the NXT show was announced, you might as well buy tickets for that, and heck, take another day off of work, stay for Raw. I think it's great. I think that crowd has always been good, and if you're going to use this as the launching pad, as it normally is, towards Royal Rumble and then of course WrestleMania, you're kind of at that halfway point between from WrestleMania, halfway through the year again. It's the second biggest pay-per-view, and it should be, and the Raw after should be big as well.
Yeah, it definitely should be. I'm excited for the Go Home Raw myself. Where's that from tomorrow? I don't even know what's coming from.
No idea.
I'll have to look that up. But yeah, a busy week coming up again for us. That's the truth. I mean, just WWE stuff. You have
3-hour NXT,
4-hour
SummerSlam, and 3-hour. That's 10 hours of wrestling in 3 days.
Nights. Plus
you and Matt.
Plus Legacy.
Yeah.
Me and Matt are heading to Legacy. Thursday night we're going to be joined by Kimberly,
a Legacy Women's Champion.
So much stuff in the pipeline.
Crazy. Raw from Minneapolis tomorrow night.
Okay, all right.
That's right. Home Brock Lesnar, Undertaker will be there. John Cena will be back on there.
Oh, it makes everybody
happy. Should be a pretty big Raw. Raven, ECW's originals, Raven and the Blue Meanie, are the latest to apparently endorse and call for the WWE to induct the British Bulldog into the Hall of Fame this coming year. It's about this time of year you start to see names begin to pop up for next year's Hall of Fame. I think the Bulldog should absolutely get in. I actually think the British Bulldogs, the tag team, should be in there. I mean, they between them and the Hart Foundation, I think they really started to change the game in tag team wrestling in the WWE. You think of their match at WrestleMania 3 and some of their other matches that they had around that time were really innovative. Stuff they were doing in Calgary in Stampede, and then they brought it to the WWE was absolutely innovative. But the British Bulldog was a great Intercontinental champion.